Detecting multiple Leviathan-class life forms in the region. Are you certain whatever you're doing is worth it?
When you were a kid and it was late at night and you got scared, did you hide under the covers? It's not a universal experience, but it's close. I think about that sometimes. That space under the covers wasn't any different from my normal bed, so why did it feel just a little bit more safe? Lately, I've been obsessed with the concept of space. Not like space, more personal space. See, when you're out and about, your personal space looks something like this. But when you're at home or in your car, your personal space expands. It encompasses the whole of the vehicle or the room or even the building. When you're in an unfamiliar place, your personal bubble retracts, but spend a little time there, and you start to take over a little part of the space. Have you ever gotten annoyed when someone takes a seat next to you, on a bench or a bus? Realistically, it's there for everyone, and any well-adjusted person quickly remembers that. Maybe you fume a little if you're having a bad day. But if you allowed your personal bubble to expand, changed the definition between your space and the rest of the space, it can feel a bit like a tiny invasion. My bench, my table, my corner, I stand in quietly to avoid social interaction. You can pretty much divide everything between mine and not mine, or me and not me. In the 2023 special Wild Blue Yonder, the 14th Doctor and Donna Noble find themselves aboard a mysterious spaceship, a long, empty, white corridor with announcements in an alien language and one rusty old robot. The actual episode is about these beings, called Not Things, attempting to mimic the duo and discover why the spaceship is in this state. But before that, before the middling body horror, and amidst the genuinely quite wonderful character acting, there's a different kind of horror. They discover the ship has fallen through a wormhole and found itself beyond the edge of creation. Beyond the bounds of the ship isn't just space, it's nothing, non-existence, no space, no light, no time. As the 14th Doctor puts it,
I've never been this far. You stand here like this. Physically. Unprotected. Right on the edge.
it's not even really horror, is it? There's comfort in it, this feeling of safety, of wonderment, the railing as you stare over the edge, the glass as you stare into the dark, l'appel du vide, the call of the void, and I wonder where I've seen it before.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Subnautica's kind of famous as a survival horror game that is not a survival horror game. The game is primarily survival, gathering resources, building yourself up, managing food and hunger. The horror is almost incidental, a consequence of setting the game in the bucket of mostly unexplored soup we call the ocean. The ocean is scary. Go down deep enough, you'll find things. Things will find you. Sunlight can't reach deeper than 1,000 meters. Substantial light doesn't really exist past 200. The ocean floor is, on average, 12,000 feet down. I find it fascinating the kind of comfort even a small vehicle like the Seamoth can provide. The most passing, insignificant barrier between yourself and everything beyond. Scale it up and you get the Cyclops, basically a small mobile base. I find it more comfortable than even the non-mobile bases you can construct. It's a fleeting kind of safety, but it has a more specific feeling. Inside a base, you can almost forget you're underwater, but in the Cyclops, you're constantly reminded, and sometimes all you can do is power down the engines and turn out the lights. It's not so different, is it? Danger feels so close, no matter how far away it truly is. Food tastes better if you're hungry, safety feels better when you're in danger, but comfort is a relative thing. There exists an extreme between outside and inside, embodied only in the most dangerous of places, where a habitat is the one thing between life and death. In a time of stress, a safe space becomes a necessity, and any place you can hide away in becomes a safe space. I breathe deep, draw back, and return to my space. In the kingdom of Farloom, even a veneer of safety is much harder to come by. This place does not want you, it is violent and resists your presence with everything. And in another way, yes, it wants you, a thought perhaps more horrifying to consider. In this accursed kingdom, the player lives and dies by the bench. A full heal and save. Early game, the flow of play is defined by the safety promised by these benches, and the tension when moving between them. They're all you have resembling safety, but they're so exposed it's hard to trust them. And then the game gives you a house, a home. It's small, cozy, you can find items to decorate it or expand its functionality, and like that, you've carved out a space. Bellhart is initially one of the scariest places in the game, but after breaking its curse, it becomes one of the game's few safe hubs, the safest even. And I think it's in this act of not just being given a home, but in upgrading and personalizing it that it becomes so comforting. A home base is, I think, what every human desires, a space that is theirs, the port in a storm, an anchor in a very confusing world. We create personal spaces by imbuing them with comfort, a little touch of ourselves, a locker we add a picture to, an office desk we decorate, a dashboard with a poor melted duck. I like to think we leave a little piece of our souls in these spaces. They become an extension of ourselves. A worker's space becomes calibrated for them, little things that have become so very normal. Different objects carry a history unfamiliar to all but the worker bee who knows and cares for them. They're familiar, and familiar is comforting. Does this feel familiar? This crashed ship was once the home of Ariane and Elster, members of the Penrose program. Now it feels... If you can put a part of yourself into your space, what happens when you leave? Is it possible to haunt a place? How about this? When I first reached this portion, I had a feeling like I had to hide. You spend a while sprinting through halls, shooting and dodging monsters, gathering puzzle pieces, and then the game draws you in, from third person to first, and you're exposed completely. All around is open air and howling wind. This little house, technically, is no better known to us than anywhere else on this mountain. But being placed in such a space and offered it as a shelter immediately lodges it in the mind as a safe space against the storm and whatever else. Signalis is a horror game. It's confusing and stressful, but in a controlled sort of way. You play something stressful to feel tension and release in a way the world doesn't always offer. Did you know I have a Patreon? No? That's because I never really told anyone. But I have one. If you'd like to support me, that's the best way to do it. There's nothing behind the paywall. But $1 gets you this cool little card. There's a new design every month, and it goes at the end of videos. Plus, for $3, you get a nifty stamp, and I read your name. Not now. At the end. I have been playing Minecraft for a long time. Not like super long, not since release, 1.6 specifically. That was 13 years ago, hence the thematically relevant museum set. Nowadays, I more often watch others play Minecraft, but I still find myself returning to this game when I need time away, even if the game looks pretty different nowadays. It's the comfort of a familiar thing. If you can imbue a space with your soul, I'm sure you can imbue an activity as well. But Minecraft, uniquely, is a little more intimately familiar with this idea than most games, a combination of the endless possibilities of a sandbox game and enduring legacy of one as old and widely accessible as Minecraft. The builds we make within Minecraft themselves can become familiar and comforting, to the degree that, even removed from their surroundings, they can inspire a sort of comfort. Maybe you'd never hid under the blanket, but if you're watching this, I'm willing to bet you retreated into a game. Maybe not Minecraft, maybe a different game, but something that could disconnect you all the same. I think that's what a spaceship is, you know? Or a submarine, or a home, or a car. It's a little piece you can bring with you. A little piece of safety, a little piece of you for when the world wears you thin. I think that's why we hid under the blanket. I think that's why we hid in the game. The world got scary and we made a little space for us. Maybe that's why, after a hard day, the best thing is just to crawl into bed. I don't know for certain, but I know I rarely feel more comfortable than inside my car while it rains.
Finally, it is complete! Perfectly square, a fine marble white, and a full 24 by 20! Let it go, Cell. You have shit to do.